Hey everyone, today I'll be showing you 3 simple background techniques using the Tattered Angles paints. The first one that I'm doing is one of my favorites. It's the faux crackle with white glue. And the journal that I'm using is the Creative Notebook. It's the small composition book that's in the Architectures line from Seven Gypsies. And I'm putting down a base coat of paint. This is what you'll see when the cracks form, or you see it through the cracks. The paint that I'm using is in the Decore and DIY paint line, and it's ebony. And you want to make sure you get a nice coat of that. And this journal is my leftover journal, so I had a lot of leftover paint on that brush, and I didn't want to waste that. And you also want to make sure this layer is nice and dry before going on to the next layer. So once that layer is nice and dry, it's time for the next step, which is the glue. And the glue that I'm using is not Elmer's glue. It's from the 99-cent store, but that bottle is a little bigger, and I like this, so I just put it into the Elmer's glue bottle. I wanted to see what the cheaper glue would do with this technique. I've used Elmer's, and that works awesome. I've used Aleene's Tacky, and that's a little thicker glue, and it worked so-so. Of course, it's been a while since I did this, or used that glue for this technique. So it was interesting to see what the cheaper glue would do. So while the glue is still wet, you want to put on the next layer, which is also from the Decor and DIY line, and the color is Jade. And you put that on every which way. That's how the cracks form. And the camera's picking up this color like a blue, like a baby blue or a robin's egg blue, but it's not. It's a blue-green. It's jade. So once that layer is on, we take the heat gun to it to get the cracks going. And I'm going to do a close-up of that in about now. I was really impressed with the cheaper glue. The cracks came out awesome. But once you get all the cracks formed, you set it aside because the glue is still wet, and if you touch it, then you know, just like paint, it'll come, on your finger and ruin it. So I'll put that on the side, and I'm going to show close-up pictures of the page background. It turned out really awesome. And I also did an ATC using the high impact paints with this technique. Unfortunately, it didn't get filmed, but there's the picture. I used black, and I also used lime green. So now on to the next background, which is using cling wrap. I'm using high impact paints right here, and this is a hot pink. And I'm putting it on to an ATC that has texture to it. And to me, this color looks more like a rose pink than a hot pink. You want to make sure you get nice coverage that's still wet for when you put the cling wrap on. You want to make sure you mush it together onto the ATC so you can get some interesting textures to it with the cling wrap. And you set it aside to dry. And the next one I'm doing is with the Glimmer glaze in Island Spring. I want to see how that do with this technique. I started using the brush that comes with the glaze, but it was too small. So I use a regular paintbrush. Again, you want nice coverage, making sure that it's still wet for when you put the clean wrap on and smush it together. And you set it aside to dry. And once it's dry, you take off the cling wrap and you should see some interesting textures. You can see some, but not, I don't know if it's because of the paper they used for this, because it's a texture paper. Maybe if I used a smoother paper or a glossy paper, it would have picked up the texture more. But it still worked. And you're going to see some pictures of this in a few seconds. You can see the textures from the ATC and from the cling wrap. And the final technique is with stencils. I'm putting a base layer of the Decore and DIY Paint and Jade. Getting it completely covered. Put that aside to dry while I use the high impact paint in hot pink. Getting that nice and covered, get nice coverage on that. Heat setting that. And the cardstock I'm using is from CORP. So when that's nice and dry, I'm going to take the high impact in black. And again, I'm going to put a nice coat of that on there. And once I have a nice coverage on that, I'm going to take a stencil and take a baby wipe and wipe the excess off the stencil. And you keep moving the stencil for a clean spot. And there you go. Some of the paint came off. And now for the other one, I'm using the Decore and DIY paint in Ebony for this one. And again, trying to get a good coat. I think because my brush was too wet, I wasn't getting a good coverage in this. And again, I'm taking that stencil and a clean new baby wipe and doing the same thing. You keep wanting to move the baby wipe to a clean spot so the black wouldn't, go onto the paper, and voila. And you're going to see close-up pictures of the first ones I did and the ones I did on video. And that's it for now, and thanks for watching.